In Scotland this weekend, Celtic are going for their 10th double. Celtic in the Scottish final against a Dundee United side who have lost their last 4 cup final appearances in this competition. It's centenary year for Celtic, who clinched their final place 3 weeks ago in front of a 70,000 crowd.
He can't get it in. It's gone in. Mark McGee has equalised for Celtic. Only 3 minutes remaining. It's a tantalising one. Goals given. Walker is getting the congratulations.
You don't need a compass and survival kit to travel from Celtic Park across Glasgow to Hampden. All you do is follow the football pitches, which form a kind of archipelago, linking inevitably to the still massive home of the game in Scotland, and which for Celtic, playing in the 45th final, is hardly virgin territory. Billy McNeill, whose agony was that Villa was clearly etched on his face, can remember happier days.
Usual Billy McNeill will be up for this. There's McNeill to goal. The goal by McNeill.
He also enjoyed that headiest of triumph, lifting the European Cup aloft. But the English experience ought to have made him an even better professional.
Not all of the things that happened in were bad, and in fact the bulk of it was very good. But certainly the difficult period, the last period at Villa, it has helped make me personally a stronger person, and I really do think a better manager for that experience as well. Didn't particularly enjoy it, but I think like everything else, you've got to use whatever experience you have and use it to your benefit, and I have certainly done that.
The two Dundee clubs share the same street. Dundee United used to fall under the shadow of their near neighbours, but the last decade has altered that.
Well, they've certainly changed because they were very much the second club in the city of Dundee in those days. But, you know, I think from every footballing fan's point of view, they're certainly the number one now. Indeed, he's got them some mention in Europe as well.
14 years ago, when they first met in the final, Dundee United looked like overawed tourists and suffered.
And there's a beautiful ball to Kenny Dalglish. Great chance for Dalglish. Here's Dixie Deans. It must be. It's there. What a climax to this game as Dixie Dean scores Celtic's third goal.
The one team that I would always go to watch was Celtic, because they definitely approach games that's got to be won right from the start. Every game has got to be won from the start. And to think that they lost Mo Johnson and McClare at the early part of the season and have come up trumps with winning the league, and some of the performances have been magnificent. And to me, it's all to their credit. But the thing that I like also is the atmosphere in when we beat them, and we've beaten them quite regular. The directors are reasonably acceptable in that on the day they lost, and I have a great regard for Celtic. Even reserve games have been magnificent in recent years, but to be honest, they suit us because they attack so much, and Dundee United are definitely a far better team when the other team's attacking. So I think that it's a backhanded compliment that they are magnificent, but they fall into our trap.
What Jim McLean has fought tooth and nail against is being branded as provincial. But respect for the club has grown throughout the continent. So with even more European veterans in his side than Celtic, I put it to the Dundee manager that he would greatly rely on experience this Saturday.
Well, I'll disagree with you again. I never like agreeing with the media anyway, but I think that I've always gone for experience on the day, and I can assure you one thing that I'll be changing this year is that there's no way that age will matter. If I feel that the best player is the younger player, he will play. I tried to protect, in particular, the likes of Kevin Gallagher, and played other experienced players last season and also the game against Hearts, when I felt that it was ridiculous to throw a young player in a situation like that. Now, in hindsight, or it's easy now to look back and say, well, even experienced players didn't handle it. Maybe the younger players are better at handling that situation.
And surely that was proved in that marvellous night in Barcelona when young John Clark's goal effectively deflated a rather posing Spanish defence. United's young men had come of age.
Well, I think the middle of the midfield's a vital area. Paul McStay does it for Celtic, Jimmy McInally does it for us, and that's the battle. Jimmy, and I hope it continues, he's played very well against Paul McStay in the previous meetings, possibly because he knows him well from his days at Celtic Park. I hope we get a very good display from Billy Thompson in the goals, because if the goalkeeper plays well, he takes catches well and has a couple of saves, the confidence just seeps through the whole team. So those two vital areas, and possibly Kevin Gallagher up front, if he can get running at defences and score a goal, that'd be fabulous.
You feel the scenario for Celtic's centenary year has been written with a climax of league and cup double in mind, but as always there's a danger of complacency.
There's great danger, actually, if we accept that everything's going to fall in order for us. We won the league simply because we prepared very, very well for individual games. We're left in a season to prepare for one game that's particularly special to us. We won't make any mistakes in our preparation, and hopefully we will prepare well enough and give a good enough performance to win the cup on Saturday. We won't be complacent, and we won't go to Hampden expecting to win. We'll go there knowing that we need to demand to win by our performance.
Jim McLean would never claim the qualities of a King Canute, but stemming some aggressive tides has made him Britain's longest-serving manager of 17 years' duration and produced in him a painstaking candour.
We have always sold ourselves short, and that has been done by myself, not being prepared to even go along to Rotary clubs and actually put Dundee United's name forward. Okay, I'm putting Jim McLean's name forward as well, but the most important thing is that we have definitely sold ourselves short. But last season was a magnificent experience for me, and the attention the media gave us, and actually the backing the media gave us in the 2 cup finals was magnificent, and I really enjoyed it last year, and I don't see any difference this year.
Celtic Dundee United, live coverage of the big Hampden Park match for Scottish viewers on Saturday. Now, normally around this point in the year, the Sports Night series comes to an end for the summer.
Alan. There's been an unprecedented clamour for tickets for the meeting of Celtic and Dundee United at Hampden. 74,000 will be inside the ground. More than 1 million will watch live television coverage. Celtic are there after defeats of Stranraer, Hibs after a replay, Partick Thistle and Hearts. Dundee United dismissed Arbroath, Airdrie, Dundee at the 3rd attempt, and Aberdeen also at the 3rd attempt. Hampden is putting on her face for tomorrow's party. The makeup's being applied in generous coats to hide the wrinkles betraying her age. 74,000 invitations have been issued, and the hosts have been through it all before.
Is this a bit of history? Hit it! Good drifting ball, it's there in the derby!
The United party remember well what happened on that occasion and in last year's defeat by St Mirren. But there's a strange sense of calm as Jim McLean approaches his 5th final.
Really, realistically, I want a victory at Hampden for the first of all, the players, in particular the Naries Hegartys and Paul Sturrock and Eamon Bannon. They have been magnificent servants, and they really are the main reason that Dundee United have been around winning trophies. Okay, I can still add that they've probably been the main reason that we've not won there as well, because for them, I think first and foremost, we'd love to win at Hampden, but secondly, the supporters have travelled through there far too often and not even got a performance from us. And on Saturday, I can assure you, we'll definitely be performing a lot better than we've done in the past, and I think that we've got a 50-50 chance of winning the cup, and that really is being boastful from Jim McLean.
Well, we had a disastrous start, and all the injuries we picked up, and people were writing this off as finished and over the hill, and everything was going against us, and we went out of Europe early on. So yes, I think it'd be delightful actually if it was to finish up with a victory.
It took an Ian Ferguson header against Aberdeen to put United in the final after 2 replays. Celtic defeated Hearts at the 1st attempt, but they waited right until the dying minutes.
We can't get it in. It's gone in. Mark McGee. That's a tantalising one. Goals given.
Celtic have been preparing since Thursday at their favourite Ayrshire haunt. Billy McNeill, in his first season back at Parkhead, has already won the league. Now his aim is the double.
The cup final is the ideal way to finish a season. It's a more glamorous competition in the league. It may not be as demanding, but it has its own little bits of drama and its own little bits of excitement. But more importantly, I think it's the cup final. I don't think there's a better way to finish the season, and obviously to win it finishes it in style for you.
I think it's really important. It'll be a nice end to the season for myself and the club, especially the club centenary. They've already won the league. I think a wee bit of the pressure's off, and we can go into the game tomorrow knowing we've got something behind us and just really enjoy it.
Your performances have been highlighted as one of the great reasons for Celtic's revival this season. Do you see it that way at all?
I think it's a team effort. No, at the start of the season we all worked hard, a lot of new players, and we got it together early on the season, and we've kept it going, and we've just built from game to game, and I think that's the main thing this year. We're all working for each other.
After today's training session, some players and manager took to the chilly waters of the Clyde estuary. And if today's antics are anything to go by, they intend to make a big splash at Hampden tomorrow.
Both sides in at the deep end, I think.
And I think that's a little bit special incentive for supporters who've come from all the years to support this very famous club. And that is where the massive throng, the main throng of the Celtic support, will be found on that eastern terracing there, from which I may say, or just over which, a very strong wind is blowing. It looks absolutely perfect out there, but you can see from the rippling flags there that there is a very strong wind indeed, and that might just be a factor. It always is. Now, typical of a cup final, we have the odd person or two who wants to make the mark. And I think, by and large, they realise that there's almost a guarantee of close-ups. Now, that's somebody who doesn't need green here. William Connolly, Esquire, late of party, now domiciled in England, sadly, who could do with a lot more ability up here. And it's that kind of day, very special supporters coming in, looking for entertainment. There is, of course, a very special guest here today, the Prime Minister, Mrs. Thatcher, who's been at Hampden Park since about 12:30, quarter to 1, where she lunched with the SFA officials and then met the teams just after they arrived at the ground. There is the Dundee United support. I have to say, and I'm sure the man sitting beside me would agree, that Dundee United are one of the great phenomenons of Scottish football, coming from virtually nothing about 14, 15 years ago into a force that is actually respected throughout Europe. Ali McLeod.
Yeah, I think the manager, everything's to do with the manager. Everyone doesn't maybe like Jim, but he's a tremendous coach, and it's a credit to see his team here at Hampden once again. And I think the atmosphere is going to suit his side, particularly as the wind's blowing away from the Celtic end, which means that most of the attacking play should take part at the Dundee United end, which will be a big advantage to the Dundee United player.
Do you think that managers take into account things like that very last point that you've made about the wind blowing the ball down towards the Dundee United end?
Oh, very, very much so. I think he'll say to his players that you'll be attacking away from the Celtic end, you'll have the total encouragement of your own support, and I'm quite sure he'll have pointed this out to them, that when they're attacking, particularly with the wind, they'll have the support behind them.
Well, that is a marvellous sight there. Now, some shocks in store for Celtic supporters. Just have a look at that team selection. Because of injury, Pat Bonner, the Republic of Ireland international, does not play. Morris, Brogan, Aiken, McCarthy, White, Miller, McStay, McAvenny, Walker and Burns, and the omission there of Peter Grant, the man who had to keep a secret as I was interviewing him, that despite the fact that Celtic made great efforts to try and get him fit, manager Billy McNeill was faced with one of the most agonising decisions he's ever had and decided that he could not play in this game. Does that surprise you at all, Ali?
Yes, I think it's going to leave Celtic very short in the midfield of a ball winner. It's completely skilled, and this is really to Dundee United's advantage that a player of Grant's tenacity is missing.
Alan McKnight in goal, he's an internationalist as well, but I don't think he could be too happy coming out not having played in top-class football regularly.
No, but the only thing is, it's very nice to know that if an international drops out, another international comes in. But I think the lad is experiencing the big time really at Hampden for the first time, and I think he'll be a wee bit nervous early on.
Now, one of the players in the Celtic side who certainly has impressed me is Chris Morris. He's got a lot of speed. He's very good coming forward. Do you think he might be a trifle vulnerable in defence?
Yes, I think that if Dundee United have to succeed, they've got to depend on the speed merchants on their side. They're going to depend a lot on Eamon Bannon, who can be either brilliant or absolutely poor.
Now, just before we came here, I was talking to Jim McLean the other day, and he thought that Billy Stark would play from the start, but I see that it's Joe Miller they've got.
Well, I think maybe Jim was hoping that Billy Start played from the start, because Joe Miller is one of the danger men with his pace against Malpass. It's very interesting that the full-backs on both sides are very vulnerable on the inside, and I would say that Malpass, who basically is a right-sided player, Miller could cause him tremendous problems.
Well, we might have a look at the Dundee United side. There it is. Billy Thompson, Bowman, Malpass, who is the captain and indeed captaining the side for the first time into a cup final. McAnally, the ex-Celtic player. Paul Hegarty, who was part of the side back in 1981. There are 4 members of that team here, very much the veterans. Neri, of course, was the club captain. Eamon Bannon, upon whom a great deal of responsibility rests. Kevin Gallagher, who might be one of the key players. Matalainen, the 21-year-old Finn. He doesn't look like 21, he looks much older than that, but he is. Ian Ferguson, who actually scored a goal against Dundee United for Rangers in a cup final, and a very interesting one at the end there. When Jim McLean was doing a piece for Sportsnight the other night, he said, look, it doesn't matter if these players have experience or not. If I think they've got the ability and they're still in nappies, they're going in. And that's the case. Well, Billy is beyond that. He's now just turned 19, was with the youth squad in Chile. Nerve-wracking for a young lad, Ali.
Oh, it's very nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking. But I admire Jim, because there's the old saying that you're old enough if you're good enough. But the key man for Dundee United is Gallagher. If Gallagher has the bottle to play well today, his pace will cause terrible problems to the Celtic defence.
There is the Dundee United support. It looks very sizable today. A support that has been, compared to other clubs, rather minimal. Not as big, even in their own city, as, say, Dundee itself. And yet, very loyal. Followed them all around Europe. They now have seen some of the highest class football that you could possibly see in Europe as compared to some other football supporters in the country. We mentioned the day is almost perfect. There just is that very strong wind blowing straight down there. When we watch a game, it will be blowing from right to left. And that could be a problem of some kind or the other, particularly for defensives. But let's get back to the pitch again, Ali. You were saying at lunchtime today it's as good as you've ever seen it.
Yes, I would say that without a doubt, Hampden Park is the best pitch that I've ever seen in my time here, and the players are absolutely delighted with it. It will suit the skillful players today, and marvellous performance on this pitch. I'm sure both teams will put up a great show.
I find it surprisingly lush.
Yes, it's the nearest I've ever seen to Wembley, and it's unbelievable. As I said, 7 weeks ago it wasn't anything like this. The groundsman should be complimented on the turnout of his stadium.
And there, of course, is the Celtic end. As I said earlier, they've come from all over the world. Very much like the Rangers supporters, there is nowhere you go in the Commonwealth country, the old Commonwealth countries, while you find some Rangers or Celtic supporter coming up to you, recognising you and say, well, we still watch the games here, still get them take for us and sent back. An idea of the fanatical support. And you can't have the Hampden Cup Final without that stirring sight. The massed pipe bands. Getting a great reception from the crowd here. There's been a good deal of sporting banter in terms of chants between one side of the ground and the other, but I get the impression, Ali, that it's a good-natured final. I hope I'm not wrong, but there's a good feel about this.
Well, it was great to hear the reception that George Young got. Right, it was the typical reception you expect from the Celtic crowd, but it was good nature, and there's not been one iota of trouble so far, and everyone looks as if they're in for an enjoyable afternoon.
Well, they're certainly going to enjoy themselves. I just hope they don't walk down Sucky Hall Street like that tonight. They'll be, well, they'll have to have an explanation for that. It's good to see that, though. Nice colour. Indeed, colour splashed all the way around Hampden Park. Sometimes wonder how they can get up there and stay up. They look like the hippie version of the Andrews sisters. Well, there we are. There's a better shot of them now. And I think everybody is now looking towards a tunnel, and indeed, out come the team. Teams going to their respective halves for the presentation. We were assured, and there is the Prime Minister, Mrs. Thatcher, making her first public appearance. She's been at Hampden since about 1:15, and that is the first view we've had of her since she arrived. She's had lunch, and I think she's eagerly anticipating seeing a stirring and exciting game, and I hope she thoroughly enjoys herself. And reporters from both sides making the noises as the presentation party comes out. Mr. Dennis Thatcher has followed in the rear. There's Willie Ross, who used to be the Secretary of State for Scotland, chatting. Different political party, of course, but on a football occasion, that rapport exists in the expectancy of a fine football match. And Scotland the Brave to signify the 103rd Scottish Cup Final. Scotland the Brave, a stirring sound. The entire box of dignitaries standing up as it was played. And now the presentation of players. All down the line they go. Must be very nervous out there. Dave Bowman, Jim McInally playing against the club that he left some years ago. David Neary, young Kevin Gallagher, whose grandfather Patsy Gallagher was one of the greats of the Celtic side of former years. Eamon Bannon, regarded by many, including Ali MacLeod beside me, as one of the key players. Mark McGee, Billy Stark, Paul McStay, the Football Writers Player of the Year, Mick McCarthy, who's had an up-and-down season because of injury, largely, Andy Walker, the very prolific goal scorer, with the Celtic chairman in the foreground. And to Rogan, Tommy Burns and Billy McNeill looking very resplendent, wearing his favour and a smart suit made for the occasion. Oh, he's had a lot of experience now, Billy. Jim McLean's at the other end looking as impassive as ever. Somebody said, Jim, there's a bullet in your back. With Bjorn turned round. and might even take it on for that matter. And I'll call the managers. It'd be interesting if you tripped over our camera cable there, but injury before the game. Celtic to their end, Dundee United to theirs. We're mentioning Bannon, but I suppose the only areas of the ground which we were perturbed about were the penalty areas, which were a little bit bare. So it might be just a possibility of rather silly mistakes happening, Ali.
Yeah, when I look at the teams, I just wonder where they're going to play Aiken. They've got 3 central defenders lined up. I'm wondering whether they'll play Aiken in the front of the 2 or behind them, because it's a very vital area. Because that's Dundee United's strength, is this midfield, where they'll come thundering through.
Well, there is a team with Roy Aiken, captain. Roy, who plays in midfield for Scotland, can play anywhere with Celtic, but has, of course, been holding their defence together, playing with young men this season, and, of course, with the defence having to change occasionally. He has been very much the mainstay of the side in defence. The possibility would be, though, that the course of the game were running against Celtic for Roy Aiken to push forward. Dundee United again. That's their side. Dave Bowman, who's been converted from midfield into an outright defender. Maurice Malpa's very intelligent player. Jim McInally's role, vital one, Ali.
Yeah, McInally is the one ball winner in their team. And I'll be interested to see. I know Bannon winds up with number 7, but I think he'll play in the left. I'll be most surprised if he doesn't. But Jim turns up with new ideas at every game, so he might just play in the outside right position.
Yes, when you're dealing with a manager like Jim McLean, and of course Billy McNeill, but I think particularly McLean, you've really got to wait until a ball is kicked before you try to discern an actual formation that the game is going to be played for.
That's correct. Jim will have made up his mind. He'll play one way against the wind and the other way with it. So it'll depend on whether he wins the toss or not.
There's the referee today, George Smith from Edinburgh. One of the highlights of his career this will be, coming to a Scottish Cup final. And I think everybody hopes that he has a good game, that he stamps his authority early on, that he gets the best out of the players, that there is no indiscipline. This game will be seen eventually throughout the world. It is a showpiece, and I think the referee will be very conscious of that. Well, the way these things work out, I think that everybody's a bit jittery because everything was over much more quickly than they might have budgeted for, so to hold back the toss-up. Here it is now, Maurice Malpa's Roy Aiken. All right, Ali, put you on the spot. Which way would you kick if you won the toss?
If I was Dundee United, I would take a chance and play against the wind for the first half and just hope to contain Celtic for the opening 10 minutes.
Well, Dundee United have won the toss, and I think you're right. I think they're staying as they are, they're playing against the wind. That's you winning 1-0. You can still hear the constant barrage of noise from the terracing. That growl of anticipation rising to the crescendo of shrieks. And the volume of support, in particular for Celtic, is enormous. Of a crowd of 75,310 to be absolutely precise, that is the official figure given for Hampden now in capacity. Celtic have about 60,000 supporters there. Celtic in their centenary year. Dundee United 21 years younger. Almost an infant by comparison. Different styles, but the same hunger to win the 103rd Scottish Cup Final. A brilliant McStay, but just taken very quickly by Jim McInally. And there is Alan McKnight. This is something that perhaps we have not emphasised, the coming of young Alan McKnight, rather surprisingly, into this final side. I'm sure McKnight was delighted to get his first touch of the ball. Cool it, he's saying. Bit of a tussle before the ball got to them there. Miller. Oh, he's not being given time to bring that down. There was no free kick. Eamon Bannon. Looks there, but that is a free kick. Quickly taken. Morris. You saw Eamon Bannon in that kind of left midfield role there. I think you'll see a lot of that. He's got to be accurate. Billy Thompson trying to duck that into the wind. Another foul there, I think. Patelaine and the big Finn backing in. Mick McCarthy. He'll be in Germany for the European Championships, of course. High one to Miller. Morris Malthus looking after Miller. There's Kevin Gallagher. First real touch of it. Free kick. George Smith right up with the play, and as I said, it's important for him to stamp his authority on this match immediately. Nice touch there by Patelaine. He didn't know where the ball had gone, though. Well, Ali, the underfoot conditions obviously are very good, but I think that wind is, in fact, very tricky indeed.
Yes, it's really at the moment the corner flags are not blowing very strong. I think it's now swirling round and round. But both teams are just gradually settling down now. Within the next 5 minutes, they should both be ready to go.
Burns coming all the way back. Well, if we're going to get little touches of football, we've got to be smarter than that. There's Mick McCarthy. First corner of the match and a very good counter-attack by Dundee United coming from Jim McAnally. Look at the way he thrust himself forward here. That wasn't a bad ball at all. There were two men who could have gone for it. Corner kick. Billy McKinlay getting to it, and that's off the line. Of all people, Paul McStay. That was Paul McStay on the line. He doesn't do that all that often. Another corner kick. Well, just watch this, McStay at the left-hand post, and there he was. The midfield player back there as a fullback. I think Big Billy ought to give him a bonus for that one. That's McKinlay. Beyond Patelainen. No. Oh, he loved that. The ball curling into him. Getting a good grip of it, and with this wind, I wouldn't be a goalkeeper out there for the life of me. This is Rogan. He's got away with that. Quentin Rogan. Well, that was young Billy McKinlay, Ali, getting in there. Good tackle by him.
He's finding possibly the first 10 minutes is either going to make or break him in this game, and he's settling down now.
A Joe Miller corner. McCarthy was up for it, and pushing, I think, in fact, by McCarthy. There's McCarthy going all the way back. So Celtic are in fact playing the three at the back, Alan.
Yes, they're not taking any chances against this Dundee United. I would just say that near miss that Dundee United had, I felt the goalie should have come for the ball.
Alpers. Just over 5 minutes gone, still no scoring. McAvenny, the tackling is very quick and incisive. Gallagher, beautifully done. Ferguson, Gallagher again, a great tackle by Aiken. And he keeps his cool. Well, Gallagher has always got to threaten, but just at the end there, Roy treated him, well, I think Kevin was almost treated like a schoolboy, the way he just pushed him aside there, but I think Aiken has got to watch that threat. Ferguson. Malpas. Thrown to Dundee United, Eamon Bannon. Madeleine. Now, McKinley and McAnally have been picking up well in midfield. Ferguson lying deep offside. And I think I would suggest that when Dundee United win possession in midfield, you will see players like Gallagher there, Madeleine and Ferguson, if he is forward, finding out, trying to open up the defence. I think both Celtic players challenging for that, but off the United head. Burns to Rogan. But that wasn't a clever tackle at all by Ferguson, and it's gone right over. Anton Rogan there has played very well for Celtic this season. He comes forward intelligently. He's very, very good in the air for set positions, because Celtic try and get balls thrown towards the far post to him. Aiken watching it very tentatively, and I think the free kick, yes, foul on Aiken. That's all the way through to Thompson. Billy Thompson. Oh dear, you talk about a Hampden hoodoo. Billy has actually never been in a winning side at Hampden Park. Dundee United or St Mirren, 6 times he's been here and lost every time. Magnificent ball by McStay. Just a bit too much. Yes, applauded and rightly so by Joe Miller. That in fact was Paul McStay's first real positive contribution in the game. Ali.
Yes, I think that Dundee United have actually settled down better than Celtic. It's understandable, because Celtic, with this strong wind, are finding the passing just slightly.
There's McKinley. Malpas. Wide in the way, the race is on. Oh, the ball is really speeding through very fast indeed. Trying to launch that again down to the right towards Gallagher. Burns. think the game is simply crying out for some cool football in midfield. Burns is the type who can't provide it. Miller. McAvenny. McKinley just trying a little bit too much, and Bowman stepping in. White. I think that might be a throw. This is Walker. Tried to play for the corner kick, I think. Bowman. McCarthy. There's McKinley. Tell you what, that youngster's playing very coolly out there. Patulainen. To McKinley. McAnally. Just got that away, and there is the very experienced figure of the oldest man in the field, Paul Hegarty. Emma Bannon. Haven't seen very much of Bannon so far. Gave me the impression he simply wanted to get rid of that ball that time. Not much else. Joe Miller. We're talking about Joe just at the start of the game as to whether they might have preferred Billy Stark with all his experience. Joe is such a fine player. Oh, just taken away. Stay came up. Here's Miller. Overlapped by Morris, corner kick. Celtic's first of the game. 12 minutes gone. Still no scoring. Miller with it. On towards McCarthy. Tommy Burns can't get the shot in. And there's Bannon. Gallagher all on his own. Beautiful stop there by McStay again. Rogan. Bowman watching, trying to be patient. And I think that came straight off of the head of the Celtic player, yes. Goal kick. There were some stories south of the border anyway, certainly splashed at Frank McAvenny there. Was very unsettled at Celtic Park, but I may just have been one of these occasions where a reporter simply picks up the wrong quote. Bannon. Good run by Bannon. Woof. McKinley was going for that. Walker. Obviously the players finding it difficult to get immediate control. The ball looks very light. Bowman. Good overlap. On a kick. And Dundee United playing very intelligently out of defence. They're trying the long ball, but they are varying it as well. Almost 15 minutes gone. Knight took that superbly. A real pressure cross, and he doesn't look at all perturbed. Ali.
Yeah, that's it. Now the young lad's now got his confidence, and he's coming for the ball. That first corner, which there was a near miss, he just seemed to freeze. But again, the young lad with Dundee United's playing very well. The young lad McKinley, and he's settled down possibly better than anyone else in the United side.
The game now very even. Just over 15 minutes gone, still no scoring. Burns. Corner kick. And back will come everybody on the Dundee United side, Patulainen included. as the Celtic support take up their choral support and this backing. But Joe Miller takes a corner. Up it goes, and just taken there by Billy Thompson. That wasn't an easy ball at all to take. He had players buzzing in on top of him. Bannon. Offside. There it is, and there was McAvenny doing extremely well to get up there, and you saw the close attention on a confident-looking goalkeeper. Goalkeepers, on the other hand, haven't really been tested all that much. It's over. Bowman to take this. It looks like David Neary who's down there, yes. An ankle knock. No, he's all right. The physio did come to the line, but he's waving him away. Gallagher. Stay running into trouble. McInally coming up very quickly on him. Morris. Well taken by Malpas, who decides to come forward, the United captain. Padulainen. United, though, lost the initiative of that bust. This McKinley playing extremely well. Superb ball. Gallagher. That's another corner. Tell you what, the boy McKinley's very impressive, Ali.
Yes, he's really settled down very well, and the right side of the field is doing extremely well. I'm most surprised that Celtic are playing Aiken behind the back men, especially with the wind.
Derek White at the near post. Paul McStay tucked in behind him. Back to Lanen. And away by McAvenny. Walker. Here's Morris. Neatly taken. You say McInally picking up a great deal, and there's nobody far right. Wasted ball by Bannon. Gallagher. Ferguson. That's Hegarty. Wrong side of Padulainen. Well, that could have gone back to Billy Thompson, but a ball like that, it might have bounced very awkwardly for the keeper, putting it back like that. Fouled out by Miller. Rather protesting the fact. Joe Miller, one of the significant Billy McNeill buys in his transformation of the Celtic team. Races on, and that is too strong. Well, again, Roy Aitken wasn't taking any chances at all. I thought that ball may have gone right over the goal line. I'm sure Celtic and Roy Aitken there has every confidence in the goalkeeper, but the very fact that they've had that change, Ali, you know, it can't be all that happy a situation for them. There's Hegarty coming up, McKinley at the back.
I'd like to see Burns playing more in the game, because Burns and McStay are the two guys in the midfield for Celtic who can really slow this game down to suit them. But at the moment, Dundee United are the more, I would say, the better side at the moment.
Accelerates on again, and great work again by Roy Aitken. Looking right into the sun that time, can't have been easy. Ferguson. Yes, well, they really are stretching the Celtic defence when they put the ball out to the flanks. Derek White was really extended to get to that. Not much exchange in that. Alan McKnight, one of the players whose international career has been helped by coming to Parkhead. Stay hasn't got into the game yet. Seen just one pass of any note. Bannon got that done well. McInally. No. The angle was all wrong. Idea was right. You had to put it wide. Morris. Back McAvenny on the far side. Paul McStay. Is more like McStay. McAvenny, and that must be... Oh, just pushed away. Oh, what a miss. The best chance of the game so far. The pressure's still on. No, it all ended, and that was really a dreadful miss. Now the superb play by McStay in midfield, the ball by McAvenny, almost perfection. And that really should have been put away by Miller. He seemed to get up too high, Ali, and down on top of it.
It looked as if the hardest thing to do was miss it. I mean, it's a magnificent play by McStay, but how he missed it. I mean, he got over the ball and headed it down, but it nearly got it in the second bounce.
Well, there's another shot of it, that lovely side-footed pass there, outside of foot pass. Billy Thompson beaten, and Miller coming in there, put it down almost at his feet. His own feet at that. Well, there, Paul McStay, almost a classic profile of him, and a classic profile of how to come from midfield and break a defence out of nothing. By the way, that's the second time that David Nerey has been down. He did require attention that time. And he is limping. There he is. He's trying to flex the joints again. There by McAvenny, look at the pace of the pair of them, and Bowman, I think, got the final touch. It was a bit like the powder hole sprint. Joe Miller, I think he got the edge on that race. Tommy Burns, that's a useful ball again. Oh, up and under. A Murrayfield effort. Derek White. Somebody actually voted him in the papers this week the sexiest Celtic player. He didn't have votes like that in your day, Ali.
No, I wouldn't have got voted that anyway.
Oh, you're very modest. Kevin Gallagher picking it up. Aiken goes with them. That'll be another corner. And Aiken is obviously very carefully watching Kevin Gallagher. That's a real threat, they realise.
He's the danger man. But Celtic have lifted the game slightly since McStay's pass. And really, they're now starting to motor.
Almost as if suddenly they've realised it's a cup final. That's McKinley. There by Mick McCarthy. Oh. Well, I don't know who had the first call for that. Left with faces to match their jerseys. McStay again. Picked on by Hegarty. Here's Gallagher. I think that ball, well, some of the players thought it had gone over. And I think what Gallagher is trying to get over is that Patalainen wasn't inside for the ball across.
It's interesting at the moment. Dundee United have switched Neary into the midfield since his injury. Till he gets over his injury. They brought Malpass into centre half.
And David Neary walking this off. We did notice he went down twice. Wasn't looking at all comfortable. And that could be a useful ball. Bounce not so kind. Rogan. Bowman fights back. This is a crucial period for Celtic, Ali, because, as you say, they are tramping and they just begin to look impressive.
Oh yes, they've started to motor a bit. The left side of the field still not operating as well as the right.
Oh, too much. Now, David Neary is limping, and there are two subs warming up, John Clark and Sturrock. A tragedy for United if they to lose him at this stage. There's Eamon Bannon. Made by Aiken. There is Neary. Seemed to take that all right. McStay. This time Andy Walker gets on it. There's Bowman though. Burns. In comes Ferguson. Oh, you can't get any cooler than that. Shows you good understanding of defence when you can get away with a move like that. That's Morris. Tommy Burns. United have pulled everybody back behind the ball, bar Patalainen. Morris deciding to probe. There is Paul McStay, and not the kind of pass that we expect of him. A kind of apologetic shake of the head. Well, I see Dave Davies back at his position now, Ali.
Yeah, it looks as if it's a knock in his shin and he's run it off. It'd have been a shame if he'd had to come off.
McInally just dabbed that through, but Celtic looking impressive in central defence at the moment. Free kick. Just a slight hint of a niggle there between Bannon and McAvenny. McCarthy looking very good in the air and offside. Exactly 15 minutes to half time. That's the scoreline. The best chance of the game, I think, having fallen to Joe Miller of Celtic. Bannon. Gallagher's Roy Aiken, thumping but fair tackle. There's Bannon. Gallagher. Back comes McStay, and Roy Aiken, in fact, Ali, is playing very well for Celtic.
Yes, it's his coolness at the moment. It's pulling them through. But Dundee United must be happy with the way things have gone so far.
It's loose, and there is Burns. Playing that ball to his left foot. There's the 1-2. Malpass following right across, and I think handball. Tommy Burns having forced to the right-hand side there. He's not naturally right-footed. He's going to make it awkward turning round, and of course he had Malpass breathing down his neck. There's McInally. Eamon Bannon and several thoughts about that. Oh no. Patalainen not so good when he has to come back deep and try to create. He's better in the air or quick touches in the penalty area. Offside, Andy Walker. Paul Hegarty. Free kick. Celtic's free kick this time. Hegarty again. I said the oldest man in the park at 33. White getting in now, Aiken. Delightful play by Celtic that time. They did get the opening, and Morris, who likes to come forward. There's Burns on the wrong side of him again. Morris trying to fight it in. Referee Stillway's play on. Logan. Oh, that's not a bad shot. I saw him doing that against Hearts not so long ago at Tynecastle. He hits the ball very sweetly with his left foot.
Well, it looks as if at the moment that's the only way the goals are going to come, is from a knockout and a shot from a defender, because both defences are very tight.
Yes, he struck that well, just swirled away. Celtic really picked up the pace of the game. Oh, delightful stuff by Miller. Oh, the finish simply did not match the approach. He does it well, though. He's got this lovely, natural, kind of Tanner ball ability to body swerve and wriggle his way into a penalty area. There's Patalainen. He did well, once delayed to the side. Gallagher fails for a penalty, but the referee rightly wedding play on. No complaint from the Dundee United players. And there was a challenge. Yes, he played the ball and the man went after that. Gallagher almost getting away. Well, you always get the impression of Kevin Gallagher that he's going to get really past the defender. This afternoon I'm talking about, Celtic have just been clipping his wings. Here's Bowman. Patalainen. There's Aiken. That's not a bad ball. But it is a bad ball, I beg your pardon. Oh, it's very clustered and tight down there. Celtic had got men back. Now Miller. Oh, Neri fully recovered now. Dundee United's longest serving player back, I think, to full mobility. Gallagher on the left this time. Free kick, yes. He hasn't yet broken through, but the promise is always there, Ali.
Yes, it's Miller and him are doing, Bannon are doing very similar jobs. They're doing well up to the final bit and then let down.
Bannon free kick. David Neri, the up and under. Bannon took that beautifully. That's a very good ball indeed. Great play by Bannon to bring it down, swing round and get the cross over in that extremely limited space. It's a play of the highest quality. Billy McKinlay, shorter with that. Youngster seems to have gone out of the game temporarily. I think the play, Celtic picked up the play, so the youngster has slightly lost the place. Here's Ferguson. Neri. Patulainen going for this. Aiken with him. Every ways play on. There's no use Patulainen complaining. I think it's a free kick, yes. Free kick to Celtic. This is Chris Morris. Burns. Morris always lying handy on the right. Looked kind of nervy now. Now this is youngster McKinlay. He got out of that very well. Free kick. Very late, very cumbersome tackle. And I think the referee rightly having a word with McCarthy about that. Just the gentle reprimand. It'll get stronger the next time. Again to Patulainen, and he got the touch this time. Ferguson. Very, very close indeed. That's good jumping by the big Finn. Really showing you his value there. Look, a good leap, and there was Ferguson. Yeah, well, the ball was going away from him all the time, and all he could do was flick out at underneath it just to try and flick it back. Didn't quite work for him. There's McKinlay again. Very cool play, Patulainen. McAnally broken up easily, now Burns. Miller. Rogan. That's an excellent ball, and Malpass is there. Hegarty. Miller trying to wriggle his way in. Bowman going with him. Malpass. Twice in 15 seconds using his head to great effect in the box. Nice touch of Patulainen to Gallagher. There's Gallagher. Nice little double shuffle. And that's a corner kick. Roy Aiken complaining that he didn't touch that. The Celtic player McCarthy didn't touch it. No complaint from McCarthy. That was a good piece of football on either side, Ali.
Both teams are it's very evenly matched at the moment. Very, very evenly matched.
So, McKinley again. There's the touch by Patalainen, and McKnight confident again. Must say on the occasions that this goalkeeper has come into the Celtic side, I don't think he's ever let his club down. Next day. Here's Morris. Did that easily. Hegarty left for dead. Joe Miller is there. And there is Thompson. You know, it does occur to me that playing with the wind is an advantage, but not 100% an advantage. I'm finding it difficult to measure the passes.
Oh,
Celtic at this stage.
Most teams like playing against the wind, but I think in a cup final, you know, that wind helps you considerably. And it'll be to Dundee United advantage if they get to half-time.
And we are about 3 minutes away from half-time. Still no scoring. Burns. Miller. Burns. Well, that's a better ball, and look at all that space that Morris had. Yes, Thompson very cautious about the way he got behind that. There's Patalainen. Bannon coming up on it a bit late. I think, in fact, George Smith is giving the free kick for that. Eamon Bannon's a very good interceptor. He's very good in a defensive situation like that, but he's not a good tackler. He intercepts well, but he's kind of clumsy tackler. There's Malpas, there's Patalainen. Now Gallagher. We did that beautifully, and that was late. I think the referee is perhaps wanting one of these days when he doesn't officially caution anybody.
I think it's been very sportingly played, mind you. The free kicks are anything vicious at all. Been one of the most sporting finals so far.
And very even, as you said. Bowman. Eamon Bannon. Little back heeler there. Patalainen. No, the free kick was before that, and I don't think McCarthy was too happy with that attention. There's Bannon again. Gallagher. That'll be a bit too strong. Well, the wind, I don't know what it's like down there. We've been looking at the corner flags, and Ali is right. It's not very windy, according to that sign at the corner flags. It's windy up here, up pavers are blowing away, and there we are. That's a better indicator of it. Billy Thompson. Brogan missing out there. And Ferguson a little bit hasty with that pass forward. Well, according to our utterly reliable BBC watch, we've played 45 minutes. There will be a certain amount of stoppage time. Aiken, and that was Rogan creeping into space, hidden. Miller. Useful ball again, Malpas.
Crafted that well, Bowman coming in. McAnally. There's a nice little touch through, and there is Thompson. Took a bit of courage to go down to the feet like that, because Miller very fairly had decided he could go after the ball. Nice little 1-2, and watch this. And as we speak on that slow motion replay, saw the halftime whistle goes, no scoring. The major feature of the game is the lack of chances or opportunities that either side have had, particularly when the defences have been playing exceptionally well. I don't think too many nerves, as exemplified by young Billy McKinley. Celtic, I think, had the best chance, Ali, but your overall feeling?
Overall feeling that a draw at the moment is the right result. But I think Celtic will be disappointed, because I think now Dundee United have the conditions in their favour. And Jim McLean should at least have a nice big smile on his face at this present time.
What are you talking about? Jim McLean with a smile on his face. We can get the photographers down there. Well, there it is at Hampden Park at the moment. That's a sign and shot of the press box. We are suspended on a platform, I may say, just underneath the press box. And we can go back now to Dougie and his guests.
Thanks very much indeed, Archie. Yes, the wind, I think, a little bit of a spoiling effect on that first half. Let's see what Hamish McAlpin and Jim Craig made of it. Coming to you firstly, Hamish. Obviously not the best of conditions with that swirling wind, but United playing against it and still level, so they'll be quite happy.
They're playing against it and still level, but having said that, United really like playing against the wind, but they're missing somebody to take the ball down the middle of the park, Ian Redford style, and beat men. And it's been a sort of wee bit hurry-scurry in the middle of the park. Probably the ball's blown away for the Celtic players. And probably Celtic will maybe like to play against the wind. You know, Paul McStay get the ball down, Tommy Burns, it might suit them. But I would like to see Paul Sturrock coming on now.
Yes, you were surprised that Paul Sturrock didn't play from the start.
Yes, obviously the manager was struggling. I think he's struggling a wee bit fitness-wise, but it's always a nice to have up his sleeve. But they can get the ball into the corners. Obviously, they've got to make sure they don't hit them too long for them. But I feel like the front, United front three, they don't play as a three. They play sort of rather individually. And I'd like to see Paul coming on. But they won't be unhappy going at half-time, no score. It was a great chance. Joe Miller had that header. But
not unhappy at nothing.
Not unhappy at nothing each.
What about you, Jim? It's been a typical of recent Scottish Cup finals, in fact, and that a little bit disappointing.
Frankly, it's been awful.
At stake.
Disappointing is too good a word. No, it's been a very poor game. But you get one team playing three defenders at the back, another team flooding men into midfield, so there's not much space for anybody at all. And the occasion's just been too much for both sets of players so far. Now they'll get a talking to from the managers at half-time. It might settle down a wee bit in the second half. There have been signs that there are certain players, if they gave the ball to a little bit quicker, like Kevin Gallagher on one side, Joe Miller on the other, gave them a ball early in the halfway line, let them run at people. It looks as though they could do something.
Sure.
But so far that space has been denied them.
Yeah, well, let's hope for more room in the second half. Yeah. We'll see those incidents in a little more detail in a few moments. But let's firstly draw the goal of the season winner, which we promised we would do for you. Andy Roxburgh was invited to choose his top three of the 8 contenders in goal of the season, and this was the Scottish national coach's choice. In third place, Peter Grant's fine goal against Hibs at Easter Road, goal H. In second place, Paul McStay's for Scotland against Belgium, goal B. But the goal of the season, according to Andy Roxburgh, and hundreds of you agreed with Andy, Mark Walter's marvellous strike against Raith Rovers in the Cup against Hamish McAlpin in the Raith Rovers goal. Well, passing that, Hamish, you don't get an award for letting in the goal of the season. I'll ask you instead to draw the first of our 6 winners, please. On you go, Hamish. Let's have one of them.
I should go and drop it, Hamish.
All right. One from you, Jim. If you draw 3 each. This is from Jason Shaw of, I think it's Crichton Street in Springburn. Well done to Jason. Steve Kerr of Links Place in Monifieth in Dundee. George Christie from Crathy Gardens West in Aberdeen. Mr J Davis of 1829 Cumbernauld Road in Millerstone. This is one from Quinton Oliver of Liberton Gardens in Edinburgh. And finally, Gary Wallace of Curryvale Park, Curry in Midlothian. The 6 winners, we gave you a list of major Scottish sporting events taking place over the next 6 months, like World Cup matches, rugby internationals, the Bell Scottish Open. We'll ask you to choose which of those events you'd like to attend. Congratulations to our 6 winners. Mark Walters was the goal of the season. Right, let's look back over that first 45 minutes at Hampden then, the 103rd Scottish Cup Final. And let's have Hamish McAlpin's view on that incident very early on when Dundee United could very well have taken the lead. Hamish.
Well, it was a corner kick, the very first one of the game, and we thought it was Paul Hegarty, but it was obviously a big mix with Pat Line and got a good header in there, and the man in the post happened to be Paul McStay doing his job. Front post, that's where he should be defending. A lot of teams sometimes play with one in the post, but obviously like to play with two defenders on the post just for that thing.
That's right, and Paul McStay very cool, just knocked it away.
Well, he hit it away. It was a good strong header. He got above the defenders well, and it was a good clearance.
Yeah, and a good corner kick from McKinley, in fact. We've got to say a quick word for McKinley, who was in a way a surprise choice, but he's settled very well and he's had a good cup final so
He's
far.
done very, very well. He's come on and he got the ball down early and he's passed it about. He's got tackles in. He's that kind of player. He's an enthusiast. And he's done well, and occasionally certainly hasn't got to him. And he made sure it was his first corner kick. He got it into the penalty box on the spot and made them get a good challenge. And you know, it was far enough away from the goalkeeper. And obviously the wind was taking it further away, but it was a good header to get in.
Sure, OK, so that was nearly one for United. There was also very nearly one for Celtic at the other end. We were all saying he can't possibly miss this one, but he did. We're talking, I'm afraid, about the unfortunate Joe Miller. Jim, what about this one?
Well, he was up just a little too early, Dougie, didn't he? It was a nice pass by Paul McStay and a nice cross by McAvenny, and Joe Miller just was up too soon there. And I think if he'd just taken 2 or 3 steps backwards, come in a wee bit late, he would have got the power behind the header and the direction too. But it's an area that Celtic get a little bit of space in, both Mixu Paatelainen and Ian Ferguson for Dundee United, allowing both the Celtic fullbacks to come forward quite freely, not aware of them coming forward very well.
Yes, that's been a feature of Celtic's play this season.
Yes, but
Chris
unfortunately today they're not using the ball well from about 20 yards in. They don't seem to be able to hit men at that point, and that's where it's falling down for Celtic. It might be easier for them against the wind in the second half because they're not going to overstrike the passes there.
That's right. Well, let's turn our attention now to the other cup final in the south. In fact, it's a really glamorous story with Liverpool against Wimbledon, because if you think back to 1977, Liverpool that year were winning the European Cup at Wembley against Bruges. And the very same year, Wimbledon were a semi-pro team just coming into the Football League for the very first time, coming into the 4th Division. In 11 short years, the two are meeting in the FA Cup final. Let's see the highlights of that first half then. Our commentator at Wembley is John Motson.
Here's Beardsley. And it's Houghton again. Swift and incisive. Beardsley and Houghton, and there was space. Here's Beardsley. This is Houghton. Barnes is waiting, but and Barnes is still there against the post. And away by Vinnie Jones. Well, now we can see what happened at the end of that move, because Ray Houghton, as Jimmy Hill rightly said, beat the offside. I think Young played him on. Watch Aldridge there, blocked by Young, blocked by Besant. Watch Barnes. No, the goalkeeper takes great credit for actually getting a hand to the second ball. Good save. That came with 10 minutes left in the first half, and the score is 0-0.
And it came from a Liverpool long ball. A very long one, straight through the defence, very direct.
I think perhaps too much has been made about this contrast in styles, because Wimbledon have passed the ball quite nicely at times. Here's Phelan. Steve Nicol pulled up, the linesman has flagged, and Wimbledon may well thrive on a free kick in this position. Wise will obviously take it. Sanchez, Cork, Young and Fashanu in there. And Sanchez was in there, and that's a goal for Wimbledon. Laurie Sanchez. Well, what a typical Wimbledon goal. Dennis Wise delivers the free kick. Laurie Sanchez sneaks in and glances it into the far corner. Just got the touch, Sanchez.
Well, that's confounded a few of the experts, hasn't it? Liverpool 0, Wimbledon 1 at half-time. Highlights of the second half, obviously, after after the conclusion of the Scottish Cup Final. Let me quickly reiterate our 6 winners of the Goal of the Season competition. Don't contact us, by the way, in the age-old saying, don't call us, we'll call you, and we'll ask you which of those major Scottish sporting events you'd like to attend as our guest over the next few months. Gary Wallace from Curry, Quinton Oliver from Edinburgh, Jay Davis of Cumbernauld Road, Milliston and Glasgow, George Christie from Crathy Gardens West in Aberdeen, Steve Kerr from Monifeith in Dundee, and Jason Shaw of Crichton Street in Springburn. Those were the 6 winners. Again, our congratulations to you, and thanks to Hamish and Jim for choosing those 6 winners, or drawing those 6 winners. So, nothing each in the Cup Final. Celtic against Dundee United. Are we going to see the deadlock broken in the second half, or will it once again go to extra time? Let's go back outside and rejoin Archie McPherson with Ali McLeod.
That is not Billy McNeil you see in the centre of that picture there with the green and white sombrero. He will no doubt be in the dressing room at the moment, addressing himself to what I think Jim Craig rightly said was a kind of reasserting of what they ought to do now for this Cup Final. Not by any means the most glamorous game I've seen. I would totally agree with that. Hasn't yet come up to the expectations, or indeed of the atmosphere generated by this huge crowd. And it will be of great interest to see how they come out and deploy themselves in the second half. I just get the suspicion that Celtic will in fact prefer playing against the wind, Ali.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of managers do that. But I would feel that Jim McLean will be really happy with the way things gone, because this has been a hoodoo ground for him. And here he is, 45 minutes to go, still in with a magnificent chance of winning this trophy. And it all depends how Celtic cope with the conditions. But as Archie said, quite a number of managers like to play against the wind because it helps the skillful players.
Well, I think obviously one of the thoughts in the Dundee United players' heads and Jim McLean is this talk of hoodoo or jinx or whatever. Now, I just happen to believe that there are certain grounds and indeed certain teams that are hoodoos for others.
Yes, it's well known in football that there's certain grounds you go to, and no matter how well or how bad you play, you don't get a result. And it happens throughout football. In my playing days, Highbury was my bogey ground, and it was Blackburn Rovers' bogey ground. No matter how well we played, we just couldn't win. And you always say life is strange. Sometimes, maybe when Jim breaks it, he'll lift the curtain.
Well, this is the 5th effort to do so. And it's Dundee United, as you've just seen, who are first onto the pitch. I must say, the overhead conditions are absolutely superb. There's hardly a cloud in the sky, and there the great roar of approval as Celtic come out. I just wonder, getting back to the Peter Grant situation, how touch and go it was, and if it was the right kind of psychological thing to do to build up the possibility of him playing at all.
Well, I think it's a bit of a blow to Billy, because in his midfield he has all the skill in the world today, but he hasn't had someone who's got that absolute will to win that Grant's got. And I think the difference in the sides at the moment is the McInally and McKinley in the Dundee United side in the first half have battled, but they're both young guys, and maybe in the end Celtic, who I think maybe overall in the first half just edged it.
And so we're almost at the start of the second half. No changes as we can discern. Dundee United starting the second half. Score still nothing each. Eamon Bannon. Maurice Malthus has only missed one game this season, and that was a suspension after the replay in Aberdeen. That's to Ferguson. One nice play by McCarthy. There's certainly no shortage of confidence in the defences, that's for sure. Kevin Gallagher has been running well at this Celtic defence. Long ball utilising the wind for the first time in this half. Eamon Bannon, Padelainen just lacked a little conviction, and he went the way he went after that. Well, I shouldn't have got into that position. Kevin Gallagher. Free kick. And Gallagher really badly down there. I think it was a sheer mistiming of the tackle. A high one. And Aiken will certainly be booked for that, deservedly so. That's it. That's why he's getting his name in the book now. Well, I think like all players, he indicates to the referee that it was his first tackle, first real offence. In fact, he's played superbly well. He really ought not to argue with referees. He's going to book him anyway. And talking about will to win, it's there in Roy Aiken, that's for sure. So, free kick to United. And with a strong wind at their back, it could be interesting. Bannon can hit them, so can Padelainen. Bannon taking it. Well, he found the gap all right. And somebody must have moved out. In fact, the Dundee United player very cleverly moves out of the way. That was a very intelligent free kick, Ali.
Yes, he's very good at it. And that's been the
and
first
here's Gallagher in the rain. Gallagher, goal! Oh, what a superb goal! Dundee United 1-up. Oh, that was a piece of great acceleration by the youngster. Through he went. Aiken could not catch him, and that was stroked away with the greatest of confidence. We've played 4 minutes. United are in the lead, to the delight of that throng of United supporters under the enclosure. Now Joe Miller. Celtic will want to strike back immediately. This is Miller. Corner kick. Very good strike by the youngster, Alec.
Oh, tremendous goal. We said before the game that was the threat. Gallagher through the middle with his pace, and he scored it. He took it magnificently.
Joe Miller to take this. McCarthy's been very good in the air. Excellent in the air all afternoon. And what do you know, we were making forecasts about the double, which is still on, I may say, for both Liverpool and Celtic. And now both of them are trailing from our last information anyway at Wembley. Straight to Morris, now Malthus. Here's Eamon Bannon. Padelainen took that very well. Fine tackle by Morris. Padelainen. Here's Eamon Bannon. That's to Gallagher, a little bit too hard, yes. Well, Kevin Gallagher, the boy you see there, the goal scorer, comes from a great Celtic tradition. His grandfather, Patsy Gallagher, one of the great Celtic stars, major figures of the past. and slipped through the Celtic net, as it were. Great acquisition by Jim McLean. Celtic, however, will fight, Ali.
This is the testing time now for Celtic. The next 10 minutes. They'll need to Hegarty and Neary to